Hi, I'm Carrie, and this is Saunders Sisterhood, a YouTube channel for the single and childless, not by choice person. Our video today is single and childless, not by choice eras. So, as I've been on YouTube and social media, listening to podcasts, I see that a lot of the 20-something influencers are talking about their boss girl era, their it girl era, their CEO era. And I thought that I would do a little spin on that and talk about the different eras that single and childless, not by choice people go through. Number one is the shove it era. When you're in your shove it era, this is when people give you unsolicited advice about being single, being childless, and they may tell you how you can get a partner. They may tell you all the things that you can do to be feel gratitude for what you do have. They may talk to you about having a certain mindset. They may talk to you about manifesting. And in your head, you're thinking, you can go ahead and shove that. So the shove it era is an era that I think many of us go through. The number two era that I came up with is the oh God era. This is the oh my God, I can't believe this is happening situation. How did this happen? Is the universe really going to do me like this? A lot of why me? Why me? It seems like everybody else is partnered or has kids. This person didn't even try and have kids and they have kids. The oh God era. We all probably go in and out of this era if we're completely honest, but we all usually touch it. Number three is the boundaries era. This is when you start to feel like, you know what, I'm going to say no to things that put me in the fetal position for hours after I'm done with them. Or I am going to decline invitations because it's too triggering for me. Or I'm going to decline things just because I don't want to go. Maybe it's also, I'm not going to answer questions like that. You start to set more boundaries in order to feel more respected and feel like your entire everybody's interest in you is that you're single and childless, not that you're doing all these other cool things that people can also talk about, and feeling like because you're a woman, this is the only thing people are asking you about. So the shove it era, the oh God era, the boundaries era. Typically, once we start to feel comfortable in the boundaries era, then we start to get into the I'm here era. And this is when you're starting to talk about it. You're starting to put your perspective out there. You're starting to maybe confront assumptions that people might have. You may start to challenge when people start to assume that you have children or assume that you are married. You just start to put the different perspective out there when you feel like the only perspective that's being heard and that is represented is that of somebody who is partnered or has children, or maybe is divorced and has children, but maybe dating somebody different, or they're on the dogged pursuit of somebody different. So the I'm here era for me, this is doing podcasts and sharing my story. This is about being on Instagram and being on this YouTube channel and really feeling like I have a perspective to give and I want to share that perspective. And also not avoiding the conversation in my personal life. When other people are starting to talk about their husbands or their wives or their partners or their kids, sometimes I would just kind of sit in silence during that conversation. And when you're in the I'm here era, you start to interject and maybe you start talking about other things that are happening that everybody can participate in the conversation. Number five is the F it era. Certain days I would probably call it the more enhanced version of F it. But for YouTube, I'm going to say the F it era. And this is where you've decided I'm going to live my life and I'm going to do what I want. And that feels good to me. Feels good to the people around me. And I'm no longer going to subscribe to the societal messaging that I get that tells me that I'm less than because I'm single and childless. This is a hard era to get into, but when you can get into this era, it feels liberating, freeing, And you start to feel like you can build a life that you can feel excited about, happy about, and feels like you're living in your purpose. It feels like your life can have meaning, purpose, and fun despite being single and childless, not by choice. Community can help us slide through these eras. A therapist or coach can help us get into these eras. These eras aren't in a specific order. Sometimes we move in and out of these eras. Sometimes a trigger might, we might be in the effort era and then feel like we need to kind of go back into the boundaries era if there are certain people in our life that may need that little checkup. Sometimes we're in the oh God era and we then flux out of that into the effort era. So these are things that are fluid. And the other thing I'm meaning to communicate around this is that these are all normal. These are all normal. These are all things most of us go through. And I'm sure there's a ton of other eras out there that I missed. So in the comments, let me know what eras I missed or if there's any eras that you experience, and would love to hear your feedback. So shove it, oh God, boundaries, I'm here, and F it. Follow Saunders Sisterhood for more videos for the single and childless person.